It's also postseason time in terms of awards. And the men's basketball announced their Big 12 awards last night, and Baylor was well represented. And not bearing the league, going to start with the biggest one. JaKobe Walter was named the Big 12 Freshman of the Year. Second straight year that a Baylor Bear has won that award. Keontae George in 23, JaKobe Walter in 24. Both North Texas kids coming in to play for the best program in Texas and getting rewarded for it, at least individually. JaKobe is just under 15 points a game this year, which leads all freshmen in the conference in that category. So very well deserved for JaKobe. I thought he's gotten some unnecessary stick this year, to be honest with you. He did have a bit of a slump, but I think we need to all keep in mind that he is a freshman. He is 18, 19 years old, and he's playing in the best conference in all of college basketball. So he wins preseason freshman of the year, postseason freshman of the year, just like Keontae George did. So he joins. Also, Quincy Miller had won Big 12 Freshman of the Year for Baylor as well. So congratulations to him. I mean, that's really well deserved. Again, I bring up that point of that slump because I thought he got some unnecessary hate from it, and he has bounced back really nicely. And he has had games where he is hunting his shot. He is the best scorer on the court for Baylor, and they're also winning games, which that last part is key because we do see sometimes where scorers will worry about getting theirs, and you'll look at the box score and you'll say, wow, they really did a lot. But you'll watch the game and you'll say, well, they were too selfish. They took bad shots. They took their team out of their offense, and they didn't win the games down the stretch. But JaKobe Walter turned it back on, and they also won games down the stretch. And I'm telling you, he has looked every bit an NBA player the last couple of weeks. 3-and-D guy, sure, but he has absolutely looked like that with the shots he was making, similar to the stretch that Jeremy Sohan had 2 years ago in the last month or so of the season, where he just became a very versatile player, not just an agitator, not just a rebounder, looked like a guy who was going to be playing in the NBA the next year. JaKobe Walter is showing that. I thought either way, you were going to have the Big 12 Freshman of the Year represented by Baylor, because if it wasn't JaKobe, it had to be Yves Missi. And I'm sure that went back and forth at times this year. I honestly, it's so close that I wouldn't have been upset had either one of them won. I wouldn't have been like, well, shouldn't it have been this guy? Like, you could put up a really good case for Yves Missi too, but it's JaKobe's award. And Yves Missi did get Big 12 all defensive team, as well as an honorable mention for the Big 12 team. That one I'm a little curious about. Juwan Roberts, Manuel Willer, Kashawn Gilbert for Iowa State. I just feel like there's not three centers better in this league than Yves Missi. I don't think so. Certainly none of them. Of course, Hunter Dickinson was the first team center. None of them can do the things offensively that Yves Missi can. And Hunter Dickinson has better offensive numbers, of course, but Yves Missi is the most versatile center in the conference. So I was surprised to not see him make a team. He is on the all-defensive team. Ray J. Dennis made the all-newcomer team, as well as the all-Big 12 second team. So no Bears in the first team, by the way, which I thought, that's weird. But then I look at the team and I'm like, okay, maybe I would have put this guy here or maybe this guy, but it's Jamal Shed, Taman Lipsey, Hunter Dickinson, Kevin McCullough, Dylan Dessou. That's pretty good. It's tough for me to really argue with that. Honestly, I thought Jalen Bridges is close. I really thought, and he didn't even make the second team. Jalen Bridges did make the third team. I said it a couple weeks ago. They'd be silly to not put him on a Big 12 team. I couldn't believe he had not made an all Big 12 team. He made the freshman team as a freshman at West Virginia, but had not made any of the three all Big 12 teams until now. Yes, I will argue he should be higher. I thought he had a better season than Emmanuel Miller, personally. But that's probably because I watched every minute that Jalen Bridges played. JaKobe Walter also making the third team as well. So three Baylor Bears on the Big 12 teams. Honorable mentions were Yves Missi and Langston Love, who I just feel for big time, because if he was healthy, he would have made an all Big 12 team proper, and he would have been the sixth man of the year, which went to Jackson Robinson of BYU. Like, no question about it. No question about it. He would have made sixth man of the year. I mean, the numbers he was putting up before his injury were terrific. He led all Big 12 players in points for someone who didn't have a single start. And that was strategic, by the way. He's better than a lot of starting guards in this league, which is a good league, but he provided a perfect role for them off the bench. And I thought he showed some promise on Saturday. Ups and downs, peaks and valleys in that game, but glad to have him getting some reps before the tournament. So congratulations to all of our Bears who made the All Big 12 awards. Look, I mean, Saturday's game was an aberration, I hope, but it has nothing to do with what these guys have earned to be on this team. And Ray J. Dennis, I think, gives Taman Lipsy a run for his money to be on that first team, to be totally honest with you. But he gets the second. Again, Jalen Bridges, JaKobe Walter in the third, Langston Love and Yves Missi, honorable mentioned. Tell me, do you guys think they should have made all Big 12 teams? Langston Love, Yves Missi. Should anyone have been higher? Were you with me that Jalen Bridges should have been higher? Potentially Ray J. Dennis should have been higher. Drop that down in the comments below and let me know what you thought about Saturday's game. Am I overreacting to it? Or is this the sign that they're going to go out in the round of 32 again? Probably not, but we'll talk about that this week. And how do you feel about the women's team momentum going into the tournament? This is, I mean, quite literally put up or shut up time. You can't lose from here on out. I don't know about this women's team. I loved the progress they were making, but it's time to put it all together here in the next couple weeks. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow with your favorite show. Be sure to like and subscribe. Get involved down in the comments below. Thank you for making it your first listen today and every day. This is Locked On Baylor.